How long could you survive if the only person you could talk to for 28 years was yourself? No phone, no friends, no human voice, just silence and your own thoughts echoing back at you. Most people today can't even go 10 minutes without checking their phone, but centuries ago, one man lived this exact reality. This is the unbelievable story of Arthur Sterling, a man who turned complete isolation into survival and surviva. Arthur Sterling was born in 1632 in England into a wealthy and comfortable family. He had everything a person could want: money, security, and a future already planned for him. But inside him burned something dangerous, a deep desire to explore the sea. His father saw this as a death wish and warned him again and again that the ocean was merciless, a place where men disappeared and never returned. But Arthur couldn't ignore the call of adventure. In 1651, he left home and boarded a ship, chasing a life far beyond safety. Almost immediately, reality hit him hard. A massive storm struck, waves towering like mountains and tossing ships like toys. For a brief moment, fear took over him. But as soon as the storm passed and calm returned, so did his courage, or perhaps his recklessness. He chose excitement over safety, danger over comfort. However, the sea had more lessons to teach him. During a voyage toward Africa, his ship was attacked by pirates. In a single afternoon, Arthur's life flipped upside down. He went from being a rich man's son to becoming a slave, forced to work under harsh conditions with no freedom and no dignity. But Arthur refused to accept that fate. He found a way to escape, risking everything for a chance at freedom. His journey after that was no less terrifying. He wandered through unknown lands, even facing a lion, before finally being rescued by a Portuguese ship. Somehow, he survived it all. Eventually, he reached Brazil, where life finally seemed to stabilize. He built a successful business, became a sugar planter, and even fell in love and got married. It looked like his story had finally found peace. But some desires never truly disappear. The same restless urge, the same hunger for the sea returned. Ignoring everything he had built, Arthur once again chose the unknown. He joined another expedition, but this time, fate was waiting with its harshest test yet. A violent hurricane destroyed his ship completely. When Arthur regained consciousness, he found himself alone on a deserted island. No crew, no help, no hope, just him. All he had were a knife, 2 shoes, and 3 hats. That was it. This is where most people would break, but Arthur didn't. Instead of giving up, he adapted. He began to build a life from nothing. He used whatever he could salvage from the wreckage: tools, weapons, and supplies. He built shelter, hunted animals, and even domesticated wild goats for food. To keep track of time and hold on to his sanity, he carved a calendar into wood. Imagine being so alone that your biggest fear is losing the sense of time itself. He became everything he needed to survive: a farmer, a tailor, a builder. He made clothes from animal skins and even baked his own food. But the hardest part wasn't survival, it was the silence. To fight loneliness, he trained a parrot to say his name, just so he could hear something other than his own voice. Think about that for a moment. Being so isolated that hearing your name from a bird feels like comfort. For 11 long years, Arthur lived like the king of his own empty kingdom. He controlled everything around him, and despite the loneliness, he had found a strange kind of balance. But one day, everything changed. While walking along the shore, he saw something that froze him in place, a footprint in the sand. It wasn't his, it was bigger. In that moment, his entire world shifted. The island wasn't empty, and whoever else was there could be dangerous. Soon, he discovered the truth. The island was visited by cannibals who came for rituals. The peaceful land he thought he ruled was actually a place of horror. From that day on, Arthur lived in constant fear. He hid his fires, moved carefully, and stayed alert every second, knowing that one mistake could cost him his life. Years passed in this terrifying state, until one day, everything changed again. Several canoes arrived, carrying dozens of men and 2 prisoners. As Arthur watched from hiding, one of the prisoners managed to escape and ran straight toward him. In that moment, Arthur had a choice: stay hidden and survive, or risk everything to save a stranger. For the first time in years, He took action. Using his gun, something the attackers had never seen before, he fought back and saved the man's life. He named him Kai. But Kai wasn't just someone he rescued. He became his companion, his student, and the closest thing to family Arthur had in decades. Arthur taught him lingua,